Hello, welcome to the Perfume Experience and welcome to a new series where in this particular series I'm going to review fragrances that are with me, but I haven't really come across to do a full review, so I'm going to kind of review them quickly. So in about 10-12 minutes we should look at reviewing about 5-6 fragrances, and this is going to be a new series where what happens really is that I come across some fragrances, and a lot of times there are fragrances that keep coming. So what happens is some of them take backstage and eventually it becomes to a point where I wouldn't have done the entire review itself for that particular fragrance. One is that. The second situation is also that a lot of times we try fragrances and some fragrances don't stand up to it, so you can't really do a dedicated review for it, but then when time comes you think, okay, maybe we should talk about it. That's the idea behind this particular series, where I'm going to do about 5-6 fragrances and review them kind of quickly and talk about them, right? So let's get going right on to this particular video. You're watching the Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Let's start right after this intro. Alright, so welcome back. So the first fragrance let's talk about is from the house of Albait, and this is the alternative of the popular Narciso Rodriguez Blue Noir. Okay, now there are different variants of it. I'm not really sure which variant this particular fragrance is trying to do, but what I really wanted to talk about is I was looking forward to trying this, and I was having a lot of expectations of this particular fragrance. This one, on the contrary, was on my initial whiff. I kind of did not like it, to be very honest. I thought this was just okay, but then when you start wearing it after a few times, you kind of think that this is pretty good because you kind of like the DNA. This is typical blue kind of a fragrance. It's got the similar notes of lavender and woody vibes, kind of a scent profile, but for me it feels like a fragrance that's got a lot of citrusy element. It's got a lot of freshness and it's got a lot of woody elements too. Now typically if you look at Narciso Rodriguez, you will know that this has got cardamom, it's got nutmeg, it's got some musk, it's got some cedar as the main component as a scent profile. But for me it feels like the fragrance is very familiar because it is very close to Bleu de Chanel in the way it kind of smells. So like, think about it, that the way Bleu de Chanel kind of opens up, it smells like that, but except this is linear throughout the day, and surprisingly it's a soft scent, but it lasts for long. I mean, it really did last on me for about 10 to 11 hours, which I was not expecting. The first time when I put it on, I did not really notice it so much, but the next couple of times whenever I wore it, I've noticed that this is on my apparel for more than 10-11 hours. So it's a very good office fragrance if you're looking for that way. It's a fragrance that's got sweetness, it's got citrusy elements, but it's got some freshness, it's got some woody elements, but it's got this oriental type of a touch with cardamom, nutmeg, musk is a good element, good woody notes, and this is a good one to consider if you're looking for office fragrance along the lines of Bleu de Chanel. If you want something like that, you can definitely consider this. This is Albait's alt of Narciso Rodriguez Blue Noir. Next, let's talk about a fragrance that has been with me for a long time. Okay, now this is a fragrance that we initially got for the decants, and after I tried it I was like, okay, it's kind of fun, it's okay, it's not great, but then it just kept sitting with me all throughout. Well, I'm talking about the Paris Corner Pear Potion. Okay, so it comes in a bottle like this. So there were two fragrances that was released. One was the Mango Potion and one was the Pear Potion. So Pear Potion is this. Now this is a fragrance that's typically got in terms of notes, it's got jasmine, it's got apple, it's got some caramel, and of course it's got some pear, right? But if you were to take a reference point for this particular fragrance, it's like Maison Alhambra's Bright Peach. The only thing is Bright Peach is a lot more denser, a lot more heavy, projects for longer, performs longer. This one does not. It's more lighter that way, but it's a scent profile that's very nice, which smells very good. It's a sweet kind of a fragrance. It's a sweet, fruity, caramelly, that kind of fragrance. The jasmine hint is definitely not prominent. The apple is not very prominent, but the pear is definitely prominent, and a bit of that gourmand caramel vibe is definitely there. The bottle is heavy. The cap is also heavy. It's a good bottle, good perfume. You can wear this as a casual summer fragrance. You can wear it for going outside, just as a casual fragrance. If you're looking for something fun to wear, you can wear this. The only thing, like I said, it's a soft scent, so it kind of projects for about I would say 45 minutes to 1 hour, and then it's soft on the projection for about 2 feet, but kind of lasts about 4 hours to 5 hours on average. That's about it. The thing with Albait Narciso Rodriguez thing is this one projects for about 45 minutes to 1 hour again, but this is softer, so it's about 2 feet is what you get, but this one lasts very long, but whereas this is just about, I would say, about 4-5 hours. So this is another fragrance that you can definitely consider if you like a fruity fragrance, if you're looking for something fun as such. All right. Now let's talk about a fragrance that has been with me again for some time, and I've featured this particular fragrance in my must-have clones list from Latafa, but I've not done a dedicated review for it because this is a scent profile which is pretty common. It's a very popular scent profile. This is from the house of Latafa. This is called Sukrat. Okay. Now Sukrat is actually a very good bottle, so to say. It's a very big, nice bottle, heavy bottle, some nice metallic plate, nice design overall, good one from the house of Latafa. Now this is an alternate of the Acqua di Gio Perfumo, right? So if you kind of like that type of a DNA where you want something for office, you want to wear something casually, you want to get kind of compliments, you want that aquatic marine vibe along with some incensey, citrusy vibe, woody vibe, this is a good one to consider. Now surprisingly, this I feel is one of those fragrances that is a underrated gem. In fact, you can think about this particular video as gems as well. I think that's a good way to start. Maybe 5-6 hidden gems of fragrances that we have not kind of reviewed. So this is a good one to consider. Very nice fragrance for office wear, casual wear. You will definitely get compliments because the scent profile is nice. Now this is somewhere slightly above softer and between loud. It projects a little longer. It does about 45 minutes to 1 hour of projection, and lasting it does about 4 to 5 hours. But as a scent profile, it smells very good. It doesn't smell like a cheap alternative or a low cost alternative as such. Surprisingly, Latafa has done pretty well when it comes to a perfumer with this particular fragrance. So if you're looking for something for office wear and something like that along the lines of aquatic, marine, citrusy, incensey, woody kind of a fragrance, this is good, very nice. In fact, if you can't afford Acqua di Gio Perfumo, then you can definitely consider getting this. This is Sukrat from the house of Latafa. All right, so let's carry on for another fragrance. This is from the house of Ahmad Al-Maghribi, and this was actually a pleasant surprise. Okay, so I'm talking about Sapphire from the house of Ahmad Al-Maghribi. Now this, okay, first of all, just look at the presentation. It kind of comes in this kind of a box, whereas this part, the top part, has got that grainy kind of a touch to it, but the bottom here has got the stripes. It talks about the Ahmad Al-Maghribi part of it, and then this is a 100 ml fragrance, and the bottle, let's talk about it quickly. It kind of looks like this. It's a very good looking bottle, very nice color combination, light sky blue, and this is like a marble kind of a vibe, but it's plasticky, very light. This is this way, and if you look at the concentration of this one, this is 100 ml at 73. Now I will give you some vibes of this. This, when you put it on, you will get some white flower vibes, you get some citrusy elements, you get a scent profile that you're very familiar with, okay? So this is a fragrance that's got fir, it's got some citrus elements, it's got a lot of floral elements like rose, jasmine, and then in the dry down, it's got sandalwood, vetiver, musk, woody nature. This is an alt of Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce, all right? Now, you might be thinking, this is a clone of Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. Well, they already have one, don't they? Actually, Ahmad Al-Maghribi has another one like this. That is called Kaf, right? So Kaf is basically an alternate of Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce, whereas this also is the same. What is the difference then? Well, the difference is this is 27% in concentration. This is 73% in volume, so it's about 27% in concentration, whereas Kaf is, I think, 41% in concentration. That's the biggest difference between the two fragrances. That's a lot more denser, lot more punchier, and I think certain notes are more pronounced there, whereas in this, everything is a lighter version. So if you cannot afford to get Kaf, which is around 2,200 to 2,400 rupees, you can get Sapphire, which is around 1,700, 1,800 rupees. But the other element also to get this would be if you're looking for a lighter fragrance that you want to kind of wear like Kaf, but because Kaf can be very heavy, strong for some people, then you can consider getting Sapphire. Similar scent profiles, is just a lighter, toned down version of that. Performance is good, surprisingly. You will get about 4 to 5 hours, whereas Kaf does easily about 6 hours or so. You can say 4 to 5 hours is safely something that you would get. Softer projection, again, good fragrance to consider for office wears as well. So yeah, this is another hidden gem from the house of Ahmad Al-Maghribi called as Sapphire. All right, let's go on to a fragrance that I kind of like. This is from the house of Fragrance World, and this is a very popular fragrance. This is Aquapura. It's been on my summer fragrances list, but I have never really spoken about it much. This is a good looking bottle. Well, the paper box is just very basic, but the fragrance itself is good. Nice bottle, 75 ml of volume. This is from the house of Fragrance World, and it's an alternate of Ortho Parisis Megamare. Now you kind of get a very aquatic, salty, marine, cologne type of a fragrance with a lot of sea salt, that kind of a vibe with a lot of ambroxan as well. But the element that is different on this is a lightly sweeter in terms of its scent profile. So if you are not able to get Atlas, or if you think Atlas is way expensive for you at about 2,200 rupees for about 55 ml onwards, then you can consider getting this, which is about 75 ml for a little lesser, about 1700 1800 rupees maximum, if you're able to kind of find this. So yes, this is a good scent profile. It is also pretty loud, but compared to the rest of the fragrances that we reviewed, this is slightly louder than that. Okay, so you do get a loud performance, you do get a stronger projection as well. Lasting is also relatively good. You get about 4 to 5 hours easily on this one. So if you're looking for a good alternate of Ortho Parisis Megamare without breaking a lot of bang for buck, then you can definitely consider getting Aquapura from the house of Fragrance World. Very nice fragrance, and I think this is also a good gem to kind of consider. Okay, all right, so let's go to the last fragrance, and that's from the house of Paris Corner Pandora's Amorist. Now Amorist, I kind of have again reviewed or shown about this particular fragrance in the must-have clones as well, because I feel this is a good fragrance to consider when you think about pocket-friendly fragrances that you want for office wear, casual wear, summer, daytime, something like that. Now this is really nice. The bottle is good. Overall, the presentation is good. This is an alternate of Aqua Amara from the house of Bulgari. Okay, now where this particular fragrance differentiates itself from other citrus fragrances, I would say, is because this has got blood orange, okay, as the top scent profile, along with, I think it's got petit neroli as well, which is the orange blossom flowers. Because of that, it kind of has got that bitter vibe to this particular fragrance scent profile. So it opens with a citrusy opening, but it's got a bitter orange kind of a vibe, and that's the most dominant scent note of this particular fragrance. Aside to this particular fragrance also has got some amount of watery vibe, so you have that little bit of that watery element to it. And most importantly, this has got patchouli, but this has got the Indonesian patchouli leaf, which has got that spice element to it. So overall, if you look at, it's got mandarin orange or blood orange, and it's got neroli, which is again another bitter spicy element, and again patchouli, which is also another spicy element. So overall, a citrusy fragrance that's got a lot of spice elements to kind of working for you. It smells nice in the air. It smells decent when you wear it. As a scent profile, you will definitely garner compliments because it smells slightly unique and very different. Again, it's a discontinued product, if I'm not wrong, Aqua Amara. So you're looking at an alternate of that, you can consider this. Now again, in this, the scent profile for me is softer scent profile. Performance is about decent 3 to 4 hours. Lasting is, I would say, about 45 minutes to 1 hour in terms of the first projection. But overall, on your skin and apparel, it will do about close to about 4 hours or so. Over maceration, this might improve, but I feel Pandora's fragrances generally do not really do exceptionally well when it comes to lasting, because they come at a very lower price point of 1300 to sub 1500 rupees category as such. In fact, I think all of the fragrances that I featured here today are almost in the ballpark figure of 1500 rupees or so. So you can kind of consider them on that price point as well, right? But yes, you can look at a good alternative. This is also a good hidden gem to consider. So all of these fragrances are relatively good when you think about budget friendly fragrances that you want to consider for casual wear, right? So we are talking about Latafa Sukrat, which is a very good one to consider. We're talking about Amarist, which is another citrusy fragrance. Sapphire, which is an alternative of Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce, and then Aquapura, which is Ortho Parisis Megamare, and then of course we have Pear Potion from the house of Paris Corner that you can think about, and Narciso Rodriguez Blue Noya. All right, so all of them are good fragrances to think about when you want to think about budget-friendly fragrances that you can kind of consider getting for yourself under 1,500 rupees to 1,700 rupees. And I would say that this would be a good idea of having a hidden gem kind of a fragrance list under 1,500. So I in fact asked you, a lot of you, to suggest me fragrances that, or suggest me ideas for this 5 review or 6 review fragrances under quick 10-12 minutes time. And some of you suggested that I do it with a special type of fragrances. I was not able to fit this into something, but I think hidden gems of 1,500 rupees or less for a set of fragrances, I think, is a good way to start, right? So if you kind of like the video, hit the like button, subscribe and share. You're watching the Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Until another time, take care. Bye now.